Maayong adlaw!
Welcome to the Pod Point.
Season 3!
What's up, everybody? This is your favorite religious podcast. This is the Pod Point Cebu. Woo! And for this episode, we're currently at our season 3, episode 10. Right, so we've been journeying with us. If you've been journeying with us ever since January, I am glad that you're currently still listening and watching us in different social media platforms.
Yes, thank you
here
so
with
much,
us.
everyone.
Thank you for our dear listeners, right? Yeah, exactly. So joining with me this episode is we have
Very
Grace,
beautiful
hello.
birthday
welcome
girl.
back, Grace. Welcome back. Happy birthday, Grace!
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
Thank you.
All right, and of course we have.
Attorney Cherry. Oh,
Yes,
Alright.
say
Hello.
it. Attorney Cherry.
because they call me Attorney Cherry here. That's why
Yes.
I tend to. Okay, I'm Cherry. Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Welcome back, Grace, and welcome back, Attorney Cherry. So for this episode, but before that, actually, we just want to have like an icebreaker lang, kamustahan session. So how have been the 2 weeks? How's the 2 weeks for you guys?
2 weeks for me, I think it's been great. Yeah, of course, tiring as always. But lalaban.
Laban
Laban lang.
Oh, so that's it. Great.
Okay.
That's good.
How about you, Attorney?
Me, I'm very busy with work right now. I'm also doing a lot of traveling. Happening both
Sana
for
all.
work.
to
no,
be you.
both for work and leisure. But
Oh,
but
sana all.
the
mas dagan
balance.
work.
Ah.
Mas dagan work. So I really praise God for the strength
Yeah.
and wisdom also for work.
First God.
How about you, JR?
So today's for the past 2 weeks, I've been busy with work and then recovering from my semester. I just finished my first sem
Congratulations.
in my master's degree, and then hopefully I am still gonna pursue and will continue on pursuing on our second semester for the
Yes.
first year, and hopefully graduate by next year. Hopefully, God willing. God willing.
Si Lord na'y bahala na.
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Sige. And today's episode is entitled Diet and Fasting for a Better Health. So this is a very interesting topic. I think a lot
Yeah.
of our young professionals could relate to this, especially if you are the type of person who is pursuing an endeavor with regards to a better health, spiritually and physically, and also mentally.
Yes.
Right? So, let's start off with what's the difference between diet and fasting? I think it's very important for us to have clear distinctions
Yes.
and the definitions of both. How about you, Grace? Can you tell us about it?
I think for me, when we say diet and then we say fasting, it's two different things. Diet is when you choose to eat something healthy, something that it's more beneficial to your body, and something that really promotes good health.
Yes.
And I think fasting on the other end is you depriving yourself from something. Like earlier during the devotion, we talked about
Yeah.
depriving ourselves, like not using your cell phone, fasting
Yeah.
from your cell phone, fasting from social media, and all that. So I think fasting is depriving yourself from maybe food, again, social media, your cell phone. What else?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So to add, dieting would be the intent. The intent would be to lose weight and also to be more healthy,
Yeah.
physically healthy.
Mm.
And then when we talk about fasting, it's in the Christian realm, it's about focusing your mind and spirit in the Lord and His Word, and depriving yourself. Yes, the word is depriving
Depriving.
yourself
Yeah.
Yeah.
from all the earthly desires or things. Like it can be food, it can be social media, it
Yeah.
can be all other desires of our hearts
Yeah.
that is beyond the Lord. So it helps us to get more closer to the Lord and to hear from Him more clear if we do fasting.
And
So
fasting,
yes.
yeah, and fasting, and to build upon that, fasting is like denying yourself from earthly and humanly pleasures to
Yes.
find satisfaction in. And I think there's been a lot of scriptures and a lot of verses and chapters that talks about how fasting is an act of worship.
Yeah.
It's an act
Yes, that's
of
true.
asking or a request
Yeah,
for
it's
an
a petition.
unanswered prayer, right? It's a desperation
Mm.
for God to hear your your prayer, your request, and then I think it's also it's partly, it can also be in terms of mourning, right? When
Yeah.
you're trying to
True.
mourn for the death from a death of a loved one, or even it's a divine providence, a requisition of divine providence from God, and surrendering yourself and all your plans to the Lord, because He will never forsake you, and He will
Amen.
never leave you. Right, so it's a very interesting topic.
Very.
Yes,
talk
very
about.
interesting. So now, as we already know the difference between diet and fasting, I'd like to ask this question: how does fasting or dietary restriction impact one's health and well-being?
Mm.
I think I'll let JR answer that.
Yeah.
Well, whenever we fast, our body is in a certain stress. It is in a certain stress that, like, whenever you like, when your body was attuned to having, like, eating food at least 3 times a day,
Yeah.
and then you suddenly stopped, it gives your body in response to a stress, right? It's a stress, right? Whenever you stop eating and then you feel your stomach grumble,
Grumbling.
right? It produces some sounds or
Yes.
vibrations,
Yes.
and it signifies that you're hungry,
Yeah.
right? And then whenever we fast, especially in longer periods of time, our body produces what we call autophagy. So
Oh, another new word for me.
yeah,
Okay.
autophagy. It's AUTOPHAGY. It's autophagy. So basically, in a nutshell,
Okay,
autophagy
okay.
works is like whenever you fast and then you don't have any body or like any food to help you with energy production, something like that.
Ah, so your
So
body
your
like
body,
very fat.
what your body does is
Uses
it
fat
uses damaged cells
as energy.
for it uses damaged cells to produce energy. That's why you
Yeah.
live longer, especially in clinical studies, and animal studies have shown this kind of autophagy and how it works is because it promotes healthier lifestyle and longevity. So it reduces aging.
Oh.
And
So it really
yeah,
helps.
it really helps. Yeah,
Good
exactly.
at agent. Noted.
And then it
Ilista.
and then it reduces what we call glycation.
Ah.
So let's say, for example, you're cooking a chicken, right, in an oven or something. And the brown, like when the chicken is cooked, the brown thing, like the crust of the chicken or the skin of the chicken, it's what we call glycation. Like your body is like producing,
Yeah.
like working all throughout. And then whenever we fast, we allow the body to heal.
Oh.
So that's why
okay.
your focus is heightened during those times whenever you fast. Like, so for example, when you're working, like you suddenly didn't know that what time it is or something like that. You have like a sense of flow, or you zone out into. That's how like autophagy can help you with those kinds of things, because it promotes cognitive stability, focus. So
Mhm.
something like that. It's very helpful
So
for
it
us to
really
understand.
helps.
Yeah, it really do.
Yes.
It really does.
Note.
Be mindful. Sorry, me. I'm talking to myself.
And then it
Okay.
needs to be like a prolonged fast. It doesn't work like 8 hours of fast lang, something like that. It
Mm.
needs to be prolonged. Like, for
And
example,
consistent
16.
also.
it not, yes, it could be consistent as well. Pero
Mm.
I think when we fast, it should be like involving our self-regulation, how we control
Mm.
ourselves, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that's just how like the body works in a nutshell. Because remember, our body works to provide homeostasis in our body. It needs to be
Yes.
equilibrium.
Yeah.
It needs
Mm-mm.
balance. It needs
Balance.
equilibrium for it to function operate optimally and efficiently.
Yes.
So that's how like we can relate
Mhm.
it to like what happens in our body biologically.
Yeah.
So something like that.
Wow.
That's a lot of information to digest. Breathing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that's on the
Physical
more on the
side.
physical
Yeah,
side
yeah, yeah.
of
Physical
the
side, yeah.
fasting. How about on the spiritual realm or spiritual side of things? When we talk about fasting, why do Christians fast? What's the benefit of it? What do you think, Grace?
I think JR like mentioned it a while ago when he was talking about fasting. Christian, we fast when we want to like petition.
Yeah.
When we want to when we want things when we want something like earnestly.
Mm.
Okay, I'm gonna use the example of when Moses. I'm not sure. I forgot the Bible verse. I think it's. Did I write it here? I'm not sure, pero I think it's in Exodus when Moses was gonna receive the 10 Commandments from God. If you remember, it was fasting for 40 days and
Yeah.
40
Yes.
nights,
Yeah.
right? And it was after the fast that he received the 10 Commandments for the people. And then also, I think in Ezra also, when the people were about to journey,
Yes.
they also fasted. They also fasted. It's I wrote here. So Ezra 8 verse 23. So we fasted and petitioned our God about this, and He answered our prayer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine, like fasting is very powerful. If we, and then there's also I think the New Testament when they always combine fasting with prayers
Yeah.
Yes.
when they really need something from God. Even Jesus Himself fasted.
Yes.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah. So I think fasting is depriving ourselves, like the word, when we want to really seek and really focus our mind, our gaze
Yes.
on what the person we're fasting to, and that's
Yes.
God.
Yeah. And we need to be clearly distinct and precise when we say our motivations when we fast as Christians. As when we fast, our motivation should not be to require or like
To receive.
to receive something from
Yes,
God, but
yes.
rather it's an intimate personal relationship,
Relationship.
trying to establish that kind of intimate relationship with,
Yes, that's
with your
true.
Lord, with your Father. Or when we fast, we need to be intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be in secret. It needs to be intimate.
True.
Right? Because when we say to others, when we say to other people that, hey, I'm fasting because I want to receive something, I want my prayers to be answered, it gives an off-putting impression,
Yeah.
and then it redirects the attention from God to yourself.
Yes. So, yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that one. My mom, I want to say that my mom would always remind me this one, that prayer, fasting should always be coupled with prayer because it's what is important. It's not just you working on yourself, that depriving yourself on something that you desire. It's you communing with the Lord, praying to Him, and
True.
of course, hearing from Him, listening to Him. So it's like it's your intimacy with the Lord that
Yeah.
will be gained through fasting. So it's not just you working, but it's both of you, God and you, working in the fast. So that's why we are encouraged as early as possible to do prayer and
Prayer and
fasting.
fasting.
Yeah.
Because it would help us mature also spiritually if we do prayer and fasting.
And then it sort of build your confidence in God.
True.
Like you are like leaning, like you're
Yeah.
surrendering all your plans, all your endeavors, and then it sorts of gives us the opportunity to hear from God,
Yes.
to listen to His word, and how He reveals His Majesty, His plans for us.
Mm-mm.
And it really gives it's for me it's a worship kind of thing. It's very intimate because when you surrender everything you have to the Lord, I think it gives you confidence, and then and it allows you to surrender all these kinds of things, and you fully and wholly trust to the Lord whatever your plans or endeavors are.
True.
Yeah. So it has both, really fasting has both physical and spiritual
Mm.
benefits. So actually it's the second question. In what specific ways can our Christian faith promote both physical health and spiritual
Spiritual
growth?
health,
So
yeah.
we kind of answered already.
Yeah.
The second question. Are we okay?
Can I just give you a gist?
Yeah.
Okay, see. Sure.
You know, like, yeah, I'm African.
Mm.
Nigerian to be precise. we grew up in this in a family that we grew up with fasting.
Yeah.
I think the longest I've fasted was like 11 days just on water, and our parents like make us like start with like 1 day and then 3 days and then like progress, because you know we're Africans and we really believe in. I'm also like back home, my home church, we're Pentecostals, and we believe strongly in fasting and prayer.
Yeah.
So because of that, we like do like a prolonged time of fasting, and yeah, people see it as not healthy, but we're African, and your mom is like with you. You're not fasting alone. Your mom is my mom, like, I don't know for the family, but my mom, whenever we have that kind of fasting, my mom is also fasting with us. The 11 days was supposed to be 14, but I couldn't just like I couldn't just move forward from the 11 days
Yeah.
because
Yeah, nice.
because when I was younger, I had ulcer, so
Yeah.
my mom is like very careful with that. And you know, like growing up with that kind of fasting experience, I just wonder, like, so what was the point of my mom putting me into that punishment as a kid? But I get to realize that it's just because I didn't really understand why I was doing
Oh.
that.
Yeah.
So for me, I saw it as a punishment. So dapat, like, if you're fasting, it's because you want to connect
Yes.
your soul, your body, everything has to be like in sync
Yeah.
with
Yes.
God. But that period, I was still young, but I really hope that whenever we fast, there should be an essence
Yeah.
why we do it, not just for doing sake.
Yes.
Because if we're doing that for doing sake, we're just doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just for you to lose weight.
Yeah,
Honestly.
agree.
I think right now I really thank God for growth because of that. Now that I already deep in my relationship with Christ, I know the essence of what I do. I don't have to like fight with my mom, like
Yeah.
whenever
Yeah.
my mom doesn't have to tell me like, oh, you have to fast. I mean, yeah, African moms, they still do that, like, oh mom, maybe you're praying about something, and I say, oh, have you fasted?
It's a requirement. It's a
fasted?
prerequisite.
It's like goes together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
have you fasted? Like, no, mom. You have to fast 7 days. Hello. You were telling me 7 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but it doesn't have to be forced.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's also one thing that we should take. Fasting doesn't have to be forced.
Mm-mm.
We have like a practice. I'm not sure. Should I call it a doctrine back in my
Could be a
home
principle.
church? Yeah,
Yeah.
a principle. I think, yeah, that's the word,
Yeah.
principle. Every January, like January 1 to January 2nd to like 30th, or
Congregational.
you have to be everyone in the church have to fast.
Yes, that's congregational.
Yeah, congregational fasting.
prayer and fasting.
Yes, and it's coupled with prayer. We have to go to church
Mm.
every 6 p.m. every day for that
Yeah.
30 days. So I think people really needs to understand
Mm-mm.
what is the essence of fasting, why are they
Yeah.
fasting, why it is important for them to fast.
Yeah.
Because if we don't know that, and the fast is just sayang.
Yes.
And it's
Thank
very
you.
interesting when you talked about like congregational fasting and
Yeah.
prayer, right? I think when me personally, we was part in my previous church. We also did a congregational
Congregation,
fast,
yeah.
right? And then it's like solely focused on praying,
Mm-mm.
solely focused on intentional seeking or establishing a relationship with God. And then I think it's very interesting if we could do it as well
Yeah.
here, right? It's a
Oh,
it's a
yes,
congregational
that's
fast.
true.
I think
Shout out to
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
As a background, yeah,
Mm.
as you already mentioned, congregational prayer and fasting. When you do congregational prayer and fasting, every day you have a prayer point.
Yeah.
Yes.
That you
Mm.
pray for all of you in the congregation.
Yep.
Like first, for the nation, and then for families, and then for students.
There's a
Mm.
purpose.
Every day there's a prayer point that you would focus on, that you would kind of surrender and offer to the Lord
Mm.
for that specific day. So that's really wonderful if you can finish everything. Usually it's like 20 days prayer and fasting, or
Yeah,
like
okay.
some congregations would have it a month of prayer and fasting, doing it different various
kind of-
setups.
oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
So just for our curious, maybe some of our listeners are curious on what
Mm.
congregational
Congregational
prayer and
fasting.
fasting is.
So with that
So
being
yes.
said, what are the specific ways, or like the bad habits that you've done, or like is part of your daily routine that keeps you from being healthy?
Lord,
So
Lord.
this
This
is
is it.
our self-reflection time.
This
right?
is
yes, this is it.
So I'll go first. I think one of the ways, one of my bad habits is like eating fast food. Yeah,
Yeah.
like constantly eating fast food. Like every week we go to a fast food chain restaurants and then we eat from there, and then I think that's very unhealthy because first the food has a lot of preservatives,
Yes.
has a lot of human-made chemicals in order to preserve the freshness of the food.
Of the food.
Yeah, that's why I think it's very unhealthy for me personally, to be
Mm.
eating it, like, because first of all, our body can't digest all those kinds of
Mm.
things. Therefore, what the body does is it stores it because the body can't use it.
True.
Right? So I think that's very unhealthy.
Mm-mm.
And one of the ways I am doing myself, or at least trying to get the better of it, is to reduce the time of going and eating in fast food restaurants. I think that's one of the ways, I think.
Yeah, and the
'Cause
sad
it's-
thing
it's-
is,
it's very
even though we
hard,
know
right?
it's really bad
Yeah.
for our health, we still
Do it.
do it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do it.
Especially
Learn.
like Filipino restaurant themed foods, right?
Mm-mm.
It's very close and dear to our Filipino
That's
heart.
true. That's true.
Very
Our
yummy.
tradition
That's
as
true.
well. Right?
Okay.
Who wants to go next? You want to go?
Me.
Okay.
Go out, sorry.
Do it.
I can list a lot of things that I'm doing. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
mom! Shout out to my mom,
Yeah.
who's always every day daily reminders of the things I'm doing, of the unhealthy things I'm doing. But yeah, I'm still working on it. The the primary bad eating habit is sweets.
Yeah, sweets.
I really, oh Lord, I really can't do
Yeah.
away with the sweets.
Mm.
That's my worst habit. It's like I can't do a day without
Eating sweets.
eating candy, chocolate
Wow.
bar, or coffee.
Oh,
Coffee, kana
sweet.
siya coffee.
How are you trying to deal with it, man?
I'm trying, but I'm struggling.
You're sure.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's my That's my struggle right now. There was even a month this year that I was really scared. I stopped everything because I got really scared. I talked to Grace
Yeah.
because of this, because I was feeling na the what do you call this?
Like you're gonna have diabetes.
Diabetic
okay.
symptoms.
Yeah.
What do you call that, symptoms? So I got really scared and stopped everything and tested for my sugar.
HbA1c, FBS.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then when
Blood
I found
chemistry.
out
The
that
sugar
everything
was-
the thing is, when I found out that everything was normal, I went
back
You
to
went back.
sugar.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why I said to Ate Janine actually that maybe I'm not fit to host this topic, Ate Janine, but then it's talking to me
Yeah.
actually. It's
Mm.
ministering to me. So
Mm.
that would also help me.
Mm.
Maybe this is one of the ways I can one of the steps that I can do
Mm.
is to really learn
Mm.
what are the things that shouldn't be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. About
How
you?
about you,
Okay,
Grace?
my turn. I'm not, you know, like, when people ask me, like, what do you do? Like, what's something like sedentary that you do? I feel like mine would be my sleeping part.
Okay.
Also, maybe not choosing something sustainable for my health.
Mm.
I think, okay, if you know, maybe people should cultivate the habit to know yourself, like know your body, listen to your body.
Yeah.
Like when your body doesn't want a certain food, don't. Yeah, I know food is like very yummy, but for me, I'm very stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm lactose intolerant. If you don't know.
Yeah.
But I still enjoy everything lactose in. I mean, why would I be lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
So it's like I said, choosing something sustainable for yourself,
Mm.
for your lifestyle, for something that makes you healthy.
Mm.
And also my sleeping part.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. I'm the best in staying up very
Yeah,
late,
mm.
and I think it's also coupled with different kind of things also. But I really appreciate God. Like it's been addressed. So maybe the bad habit for other people, if you feel like something is wrong, or just seek help, like
Yeah.
ask people,
Seek
research about it.
professional help,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes,
so you
true.
can really know, because those stuff, the prerequisite for you to be having like a bad lifestyle, about
Mm.
even your diet.
Mm.
And when you stay up all night and you don't even, I just, for me, it's not sustainable, because I'm
It's
so
not
sorry.
sustainable as well.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
it's the sustainable path
Yeah.
of my life. Not like I don't drink Coke. I'm very gassy person. I'm very
Yeah.
so that's just my own kind of like bad habit
Mm.
that I do.
So I think one of the reasons why we're trying to address those kinds of things is because, first of all, Jesus Christ dwells in our body,
True.
right? And then for us to be physically healthy, for us to be
Yeah.
like working optimally
True.
in terms of our physical health,
Mm.
also translates to our physical health as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's very helpful for us to address, or at least do something about those kinds of things,
Yeah.
and be healthy spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Mm.
Right?
That's true.
So it's one of the reasons why we're having this kinds of podcasts, is for us to administer to people, to our dear listeners and watchers and viewers. Is for us. Basically, the message is to have a better lifestyle, better
Yes.
physical health, mental health, and spiritual health, and then it will be translated in how you deal with Christ, how you preserve your body for to dwell for God to dwell in your
Yeah.
body,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
And
that's
yeah,
it. I think
that's
That's
a
it.
wrap.
That's a wrap.
I mean, that was like
That's like
very detailed
Yeah,
and
yeah,
interesting. So-
very interesting
ministered to
topic,
me
Mm.
so much.
So with that being said, Attorney Cherry, would you?
Yes, guys. I would like to invite everyone, of course, to like and subscribe
Yes.
to our social media accounts. The Pod Point on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, of
Yeah,
course.
Spotify, yeah.
Yes, and we would also want to invite everyone to our Vacation Bible School. Our VBS started today. Yes. We invite our kids ages 5 to 15.
We accept 2 years old. We accept 1 year old. Just bring them.
Just bring the kids.
Just bring them.
Yeah. And it's here in One Central Hotel.
Eighth floor for PBS.
Yeah. For VBS, it's 8th floor, Ministry Center.
Yes.
And for our worship, also, we would like to invite you every 10 a.m. at the 7th floor of One Central Hotel.
All right.
So thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Attorney
Thank you,
Sherry.
Thank you for having me again.
And welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grace. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that's a wrap. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Let's live
Bye-bye.
healthy. Bye-bye. Yay!
Yay.
Birthday.